It was a dark and stormy night, but before we get into the mystery, we're gonna hear about something called Beaver Tails. Take it away, KJ.
Okay, so Beaver Tail is like a brand, I guess, but it's a very specific dessert. So it's you go to the store and that's all they have, kind of like Krispy Kreme just has donuts. So Beaver Tail is like, it's a flat pastry. Imagine I don't even know what you'd call it, but just like so it's a flat. It's like in the shape of a beaver tail, hence the name.
Okay.
So it's flat and it's a fried dough. It's just fried dough.
Okay.
And then they just slather whatever the fuck you want on it, right? Just like whatever.
It's that kind of
like
place.
so like I was simple. I put Nutella and I put banana, but then there's one you can order that just s'mores bullshit, just graham cracker and marshmallow and chocolate, and then there's other like it's basically just fried dough and toppings.
That sounds great.
And
It's delicious.
It's amazing. It's because it's flat, it's easy to eat, and it's not just like
Oh,
a gigantic
what
like
a
donut
good
sandwich.
point.
You know what I mean? So it's flat,
It's a sweet
and then-
pizza almost.
yes, but oval, and it's the size of your fucking head, and it only
Wow.
costs like $4,
Wow.
and it's so
See,
good.
in the old country, we have something like that, but it's savory.
I mean,
I
a
can
savory
see
would
why
Big
someone would
fried
choose-
dough, but you know, it's a dough. You could put anything on
Yeah.
it. So
put
make
anything
sweet.
on it. So you do like Beaver Tails, and I feel like you said Tim Hortons was okay.
Tim Hortons. I don't know. So I like Tim Hortons, but I liked it because there was a donut flavor there that I liked that I've never seen here. I didn't really. The other stuff it was all right. Like the coffee was all right. The other stuff was all right.
Understood.
But they have a honey flavored donut that I can't get here in
Oh.
America, which feels like a violation of my constitutional rights, honestly. And the honey donut was just so good.
I feel sorry
Understand.
for this country that it's not providing you with what you need. Once we get this whole student loan thing like fully figured out, I think that's
Next on the agenda.
top of the
What's
OD
student loan
agenda. I mean there were I didn't even sort of see the full stuff of it. Because I paid off all my student loans through hard work. Not hard work. I dicked around. It was
I'm
disgusting.
pressing X so hard right now.
No, I press X to doubt. No, I'll go ahead and tell you. I paid off my student loans in a way that made me like grossed out. I lived at home right after college, and I worked as a paralegal at a law firm for 6 months.
You son of a...
Just
You
gone.
said-
They were gone. Law firms, lawyers, shady as hell.
Hey, really well done.
They
That's
build.
how they get the money to pay you off.
Yeah, they billed me. They billed my time. I was just a nobody. They billed me as like a full-on paralegal for like hundreds of dollars an hour just for everything I did. And then they paid me like, at the time, like however, but like more than I would get, certainly much more than minimum wage back in 2000. It's the joke of where you don't say, yeah. I was born way back in 19 and... Oh, guys. Anyway, the point is, something happened with student loans this week, and I didn't pay enough attention. Does anyone here know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'm
No
curious.
clue.
Something about like 10,000, like they're
I think they're forgiving
Thinking.
some amount of it, which they
yeah.
That's good.
super need to do. Anyway, hi, my name's Philip. I'm the parlor master of this game, Murder by Murder, an Agatha Christie-style murder mystery we play here on Tuesday nights on Long Lost Lore. Surrounding me are our players/detectives/suspects. Say, I didn't do it, players.
I
didn't do it.
Totally
players.
did it. I mean,
Uh,
you didn't.
Yeah.
You're invisible.
No, he's right there. What are you talking about with the monocle and everything?
Yeah.
That's just him.
Obviously, I'm the guy that did it. I have a monocle.
My monocle is proof enough
Does Lord
of my
Reginald
guilt.
actually wear the monocle? Like, should I be picturing him with the monocle? Because I
No,
could do
no,
it. I just need to
no.
add it in. Okay.
No, he doesn't wear it.
It's just the name.
When he gets older, he would wear it totally.
Well, great. So, we're gonna dive into this murder mystery extravaganza game. I will say, I've been quoting a number in the other streams about this, but though this is kind of like just by the facts, I don't actually think this is the likely probability based on the shenanigans that these players surrounding me get up to. But I would say that there's still a good bit of intel our players need to accumulate, but there is now a not completely insignificant chance that, this could be the last session. They could solve it all tonight. I don't know that they necessarily will. It's improbable, but it's I think maybe if you were like a really driven mystery group, I would say it's a 30% chance. With you guys and your shenanigans, let's put it at 10.
That's
All right.
generous still for us.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
So,
Do we even really want to solve this mystery? I mean,
yeah, that's the other
Anybody
thing.
missed
You
it,
don't
guys?
necessarily care.
No, we'll find out who did
I
it
know
and
that's a joke and all,
congratulate
but
them.
if we don't solve this mystery, I will never talk to you guys again. I want to be
I
clear.
mean,
This is
one
like
of
That's
them-
literally.
it.
Is
That's
we don't
No,
a
that's
channel
fair.
wrap on KJ.
There's
But will
one
Sybil still talk?
murder that is
Well, but will Sybil still talk to me because she's really the one that matters here.
So to that point, there some certain things you guys had looked into wouldn't necessarily have specific dates. I don't think you necessarily know, Alicia's birthday, or Gladys's, the date Gladys got married to Roy Martin necessarily, but I'm now going to be providing you with exact dates rather than, I was kind of trying to keep things vague, I don't even know why, in retrospect that was so stupid, so I'm going to be giving you precise dates from now on. It doesn't change anything about what's going on, but I think we always said it was early 1930s, I am now telling you explicitly that you arrived at Jin Island on Friday, November 18th, 1932, and today is Saturday, November 19th, 1932. The only stuff the only dates that have been said recently that you guys sort of heard about, I'm going to tell you that Immortal Ivan, you did present last week a wedding license that was unsigned. It was like unsigned and unstamped, basically. One someone had filled out, was not used. That was dated. That was between Thomas Moore and Alicia Corse, and it was dated October 19th, 1908. I will also say for Sybil and the Baroness, between the dates in that book you found, and the sort of stuff you found in that blackmail binder, the entry on one Thomas More, it would appear that Thomas More began working as a clerk for Lord Corse in late 1905. He was around 19 years old. In October of 1908, same time as the wedding license situation, that is when he was dismissed from employment. The sort of his forgeries and creative expenditures and things like that happened primarily starting in kind of like late-ish 1906, so after he'd been there a year, and then throughout 1907 and 1908. I don't think any of the other...
This day, right?
What's that?
It's currently afternoon or so of the current day, right? And we just
Who
investigated
fucking
all
knows?
the places.
On the current day, we will say you guys have done... we'll say that it is now afternoon. And in fact, I totally forgot... Oh, KJ, I messed up so bad. I was supposed to have everyone text me private business that they would wanted to do, because we don't show people on their own. So here's how we'll do this. At this point, after we still are up in the study. That scene has not sort of like fully stuffed. Basically, Gladys is really upset because the last thing that happened is, Lord Reginald, you pulled out the file on one Roy Martin, and you decided to share it with the room, deeming it maybe relevant now. Gladys Martin begged you not to, but you did. Ivan, for the record, you were not here. You stayed down, but if you'd like to, you can show up at this time to come be checking on them if you want.
You were with the lady.
You
So
were taking
Ivan-
a very long time.
Ivan sort of walks into the room here.
We weren't the ones
With the
taking
Marquess,
a
does he
long
walk
time.
in?
Does the Marquess come? Marquess is not with you. Or the Marcianus, because the words are so different for the male and female version. Insanity. Anyway, Ivan, you
She's
walk.
still quivering.
As you do.
So Ivan, as you come into the room, you see that everyone is staring at Lord Joey, largely because Lord Reginald just read from this sort of from this document of blackmail that Lord Joey seemingly was the reason that Roy Martin was able to steal a bunch of money from the companies.
Do I hear this?
We'll say, for convenience sake, you hear that as you walk in, and what the tableau you see is Gladys being like, and I believe Alicia looks surprised by this information, but Lord Joey looks completely, like, his eyes are wide. He has no idea. He really seems to have no idea about this, or he's a very good actor / murderer. So yes, you see that at this moment, Ivan. And I guess I'm not going to do a fuller recap than this, but if you guys have any questions about the various things from last week, certainly hit me up. But that is where we will begin. But be aware that if you do want to go off and do some of your own things, you certainly can do that. And you'll just we'll maybe, based on if some people are staying together, maybe we'll cover those while other people text me privately, etc., etc. That's on me. I totally meant to have all of you text me these things separately. That's a real whoopsie doopsie on the part of the old parlor master. But listen, sometimes when you're a parlor master, I shouldn't have started that without having the ending in mind already. Okay. So, Immortal Ivan, you step into the room. You heard the words of Lord Reginald, and Joey is just standing there, gobsmacked.
By the way, do we know when Martin escaped?
When Martin escaped? Lord Reginald. That date is in the document. If Dr. Gordon asks, and you wish to share it, I can explain.
No, tear the paper up. No.
Now I tear it up and throw it in the fireplace.
After you get all the information. Something. No.
Roy Martin absconded, presumably to America, in April 1925.
7 years ago. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Lord Joey is what, 23-ish?
Lord Joey, well, I'll tell you exactly. Lord Joey was born December 1909. So he is just about to turn 23.
Okay. So he was 16 or so when this happened.
Actually, I do have a quick question before the night of the seance and everything. I mean, I know this is what's his name's Lord Corse's, blackmail book and everything, but he was saying things. He was talking like he didn't know what happened to Roy, right? Like he was a mysterious thing, and so was Gladys. Everyone was acting like no one knew.
I want you to make a retroactive, you can do an intuition. I don't think this is the criminal element one, so I think
Fair
it's
enough.
just your more typical intuition roll.
D12.
But it is not the full vibe check for the criminal
7,
element.
yeah. I get it, yeah, 7.
A 7. Well, it's over 5, so it's a success.
At least
Just as if
yeah.
it had just been a 5. With a 7, you think that the way everyone was making uncomfortable glances at one another among the family members, at the time you just assumed the father was rubbing stuff in. Based on how Gladys is sort of acting now, you think that they are certainly aware that he left. They may not necessarily know where he went to, but they didn't want to let on to guests about the full details of that. If people ask where he is, they probably just say he's abroad and say no further. And I'll also mention that the seance, that did happen in the seance, and there was some awkward talking. Gloria was not present at the seance. She had already... Gloria, oh my god. Gladys had already left. Gloria's from that puzzle. Gloria's from that. I still have it in. It's still in print in my thing. Gladys... she had sort of left for the seance. She was not present, but the references to that, it was more during the seance they were talking about Severin, who was the fiancé of Vivian, who died the day of their wedding.
Okay.
He was bringing that up more, but he did bring up Roy Martin a bit.
Okay.
But more of the stuff was about that, and that, as far as you know, is a more mysterious situation.
Okay.
But your memory of when they were talking specifically about Roy Martin, you after the fact realized they were probably just trying to say, well, no one knows, and move on, so they weren't talking about such an unpleasant thing with all the family. Or with a bunch of guests.
This family is screwed up.
One more question. I forget what exactly led us to... I mean, I know it's because Gladys is in here, but what led us specifically to barge into this study because of Gladys?
You realized that Gladys had been gone for a while, and that she was,
And there was suspicion about her because of how she was in here when we got here, me and you the first time, and then when I came in here by myself, she refused to leave me alone in here.
Yeah.
I will explain in character. I believe there may have been evidence pertaining to Slickett's murder in here due to, one, as you said, the stationery that were used in our invitations. Two, there was ink on Slickett's hand, and the stationery paper was in his hand. Therefore, I checked the fireplace, of which there's no clean ashes, and the wastebasket, of which there was no paper. Meaning, where is the note, presumably, that Slickett was writing?
We did find the paper that they were written on, though, like the stack of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
not
also,
like-
Gladys does have a knife. There is a knife.
Yeah,
Gladys
I was
is
just
like,
Right,
holding
knife.
it.
Have we
too.
checked the knife
Knife
yet?
too.
'Cause that was my next question.
No
Are
one
we
has
taking it from
investigated
her,
the
or she's
knife.
still holding it?
She's
she
holding
dropped
it by like a handkerchief. I guess she'll set it down on the desk and back away.
All right.
I wonder maybe the maids cleaned the wastebasket. We could ask them
It could be, yeah.
if there was anything in them, and they would have cleaned out the fireplace. I thought.
You can go ahead and ask about that. I'll check up on the knife
All right.
using my general war knowledge.
Look at the knife. Just make a knowledge roll for me, good doctor. This is not a medical knowledge, just a normal knowledge.
Nah, just a 9.
A 9. This knife is actually familiar to you. You've seen knives like this.
Does it happen to be
This
standard
is
issue?
a this was simply one of the knives that you guys had for dinner. This is a sort of very sharp steak knife.
Nothing on it.
It looks clean.
And Gladys had said she sat down and she felt it or something like
She
that,
said it
right?
was hidden in the chair, according to her.
I pull out my bottle of luminol and just start spraying them.
Yes.
Do we have a blue light here? Just to
Yeah.
see?
Well, make a luck roll. Let's see if you've got that. No.
Yeah, I'll just pull off this bookcase. Oh, look what's behind there.
Exactly.
I guess Sybil will ask Gladys to start explaining something. Just literally pick a thing and explain it.
Gladys will sort of simply say, I did not wish for, She kind of looks at Alicia, tears in her eyes. She looks very upset. And basically says, I was only trying to protect him. And she sort of like glances at Joey. And Joey's like, I don't need anyone to protect me. This is lies is what you're saying. Reginald, put that away. That's preposterous. I couldn't have helped him. I was a kid at the time. Gladys says, that is precisely my point. That's why I didn't want this getting out.
Is it possible to I don't have a insight or anything, do I, to be like if he's lying?
Yeah,
You
intuition.
don't have 0 insight. Zero
Just
intuition.
roll an intuition roll. It's just a d6 for you.
This ought to be good.
Well, you got a 1 in 3 shot.
Let me roll this one instead. Haha. That's a 3.
So you could spend 2 of your 3 precious aha points, and you could get it up to a 5, or let it go and just realize that Lord Reginald's not great at reading his friend Lord Joey, which is probably accurate to how things go in their lives.
No, I'll spend it for this one.
All right, so you spend 2 of your aha points, going down to 1 for the remainder, unless you earn more one way or another. You do not sense deception from Lord Joey. You definitely feel like he doesn't think it was his fault, but there is this little bit of like a stutter or a klimt word where like a more modern day way he'd be doing it if he were not hiding something is he'd be like, it absolutely couldn't have been,
Like what did I do type of thing.
that, except for that one thing. But he's not backing down from saying it wasn't his fault. Alicia just sort of shakes her head. That is, Gladys is right. I don't know what bearing this has on the matter at hand. She sort of turns to Lord Reginald with a bit of a kind of, frustrated look at you.
Hey, I didn't ask the question. Don't look at me.
But you introduce this information.
2 people are dead, one of whom invited us all here under likely malicious and odd circumstances. I feel like anything is important, or could be important.
One thing I've got to
Possible
ask.
motive.
Oh, let me get the map. The map. This is right next to which room? The study.
We're at
We're in the study.
The
You're
second
in the
floor.
study,
We're
so
all
you're
the
right
way-
next to Zeus, and you're
Zeus.
in between Zeus and Demeter.
Which is
Demeter is where the
Gladys'
Baroness is staying.
Oh, no, Baroness.
Zeus is where the Marchioness sleeps.
I see. Meaning. Was Slicket in this room?
I have never seen Slicket in this room.
I mean, it's not
He might have
anyone's
been.
private
Not
room.
An
Anyone could have gone in here.
His room was on this floor,
Yeah, he could have been here whenever.
and this place isn't locked.
His room was not on this floor.
Oh no, that's right.
His
He's
room
one
was
floor
floor above. He was
Yeah.
up on the second floor in Dionysus, because he was the most Dionysian guy you ever did see.
Reasonably, then, the Marchioness would know if Slicket had entered this room before.
Would she?
She's right there. Wouldn't hurt to
Not as
ask.
hearing is
Well,
not necessarily all that.
Gladys
good, but-
would know.
Yes, or the Baroness, or Vivian.
But Gladys heard me walking when I came into this room.
Gladys says, yes, I did. Of course.
So presumably you would hear anyone walking to this room.
Well, I was not in bed at the time that you were walking to the room. I heard footsteps. It is. I cannot swear that no one passed by this room as I slept last night.
The reason I ask is I'm trying to figure out and trace Slicket's movements throughout the house
Movements.
to see where he could have gone, who he could have made an enemy with, though. Given the history of this man, it
Literally
seems
everyone in this family.
not any one of us.
And,
That's
and
for
again,
sure.
the last time anyone saw him was presumably
He
myself.
had no motive.
At what, 9 o'clock was it?
Yeah, 9 or 10, 9:30 split. Yeah, you're not exactly sure of what the hour
Yeah.
was, but it's in that general zone.
Yeah. No one has any idea.
Sorry, I'm not quite ready to let this go. What is it that Joey could have possibly done?
I'm a bit at a loss as well.
Joey kind of like grows sort of frustrated, and Gladys kind of just sighs and says,
It's like you all are aware of something here.
Joey, though a minor at the time, allowed. Yeah.
His uncle at the time.
Yes, and Joey's like, I suppose he's still my uncle, but, I mean, he told me he needed help. He told me he told me father would be happy that I was taking some things off of his plate, and honestly, sort of heading to London with him felt like a good sort of situation.
I see.
Gladys doesn't want to go through the whole rigmarole of it.
I get the picture.
I'll tell you what, though. Sybil, you're the main one asking.
Okay.
So, are you going to ask, like, who, like, kind of like Alicia seems like to maybe be like beginning to put some pieces together. Gladys is acting very like, oh dear, and Joey's also kind of like a little more defensive. Who do you want to make an appeal to sort of see what they tell you?
I would do Gladys and then Alicia, I guess.
Okay, so you'll kind of ask Gladys to just sort of spill it. I'm gonna say in this instance, let's go ahead and let you do an intuition, and because there is something extra legal going on, you can roll your vibe check on that.
11 and 8.
Okay, so you get an aha point.
Aha!
But it's basically you kind of like you manage to understand sort of like some of the implications of whatever it is. The fraud that this man committed, you kind of managed to talk to Gladys a little, and she will sort of... He was a minor at the time. He didn't understand, but at the time, being the sort of... he was the presumptive heir to to everything. He was going to... He was the presumptive heir to inherit everything. So... They accepted his signature at the banks and at the sort of stock exchanges and at the various places. And over the course of an afternoon, by his signature, he had withdrawn huge sums of money as well as titles for various intellectual properties and business deeds, and from bank vaults plans for inventions and Lord Joey says an ice cream maker as well. Basically, Roy used the fact that that Joey was the heir, sort of while he could. Alicia's just like
Business deeds? So he... Is he,
Yes.
like, currently running some of these businesses?
It's more that he took the secrets of their processing and presumably sold them, as well as other funding and such. She just kind of like sits down, and he was always...
Okay.
Not the cookies and cream.
Exactly. He stole the recipe
Berries
for
and
cookies and cream.
cream,
It is, but it is that kind of stuff. It's the equivalent of he stole some recipes. It's probably more that he stole like plans for some new kind of like machine screw or something for, it's like, it's just very dry stuff, but he stole a bunch of
What
stuff,
if he
and
knows
he used
all 11 herbs and spices?
he used Lord Joey to do it by having Lord Joey come with him and sort of sign as the heir to these properties. People sort of gave them between Roy Martin's charm and Lord Joey's sort of legal right to these things. He was able to get his hands on a lot of stuff that he really should not have been able to.
Okay.
And I will sort of harp on not harp on, I guess, but sort of Gladys is basically sort of, indicating like he since at the time Lord Joey was to inherit everything. He was the presumptive heir. He would have gotten all the money, all the businesses, all the property, as well as the title. I'm going to say that again. He would have gotten everything. At the time, he would
He
have gotten...
would have.
At the
And
time.
now...
Yes.
He would have. What changed?
That
Anything
has me
changed?
curious. as
So this
to-
is something that Sybil would not know, the Baroness would not know, Ivan would not know, Reginald probably wouldn't know, but the Doctor might be able to put together. Doctor, make a straight knowledge roll for me. Reginald, you can do a flat knowledge as well, but I kind of want to give you a penalty on this of some kind. Actually, no, just roll one. You'll
I'm on
be
D6 anyway, so.
you'll be less
I roll a
aware of
6.
it.
I roll a 6 out of 12. Did Reginald roll a 6 out of 6?
Reginald rolled a 4 out of 6.
Okay, so Reginald, you have no idea, but Dr. Austin Gordon, the date there actually means something to you, as you think.
1925.
1925, and it kind of pops into your head the way she says used to. Because, as has been mentioned a few times by the Marchioness when talking, like the Baroness kept saying, well, he's going to inherit everything. And she's like, well, he gets the title. In 1925, 7 years ago, actually, it didn't go into effect until 1926, but 7 years ago, in April of 1925, Parliament passed the Law of Property Act, which meant that the primary laws of primogeniture were gone. Women could now be left property by their husbands. The idea that only males could own sort of property, kind of that was removed. The old-fashioned laws of like from things like Pride and Prejudice, and the entailment and all of that. Certain lands would still be entailed, but now you could leave them to your daughters. And though a hereditary title like being the Marquis of a place, that only passes to your oldest male heir. No longer does the money automatically only go to that person as well. In other words, you're not going to wind up leaving your wife and daughters, completely desolate if you die unexpectedly or something. You still, of course, can, and also you can make a will and leave the money to whomever you want, but now sort of the default is no longer that it's just to that boy.
Oh, I should have asked. Did the father leave a will? I wouldn't expect, given his demeanor, but,
Alicia sort of just shakes her head and says, I have no idea if there's a will or not. He's referenced it a few times, especially since then. But Alicia seems
I
just like
assume
really
his
upset.
lawyer would know.
Well, if
His
no
lawyer
will is
would,
found,
but that would be in London.
if no will is found, then who would inherit everything?
We didn't find a will in the.
You didn't find a
Maybe
will.
upstairs.
Who would inherit is the mother,
Wife.
the Marchioness. And if she and Lord Corse died at the same time, I guess it would technically go to
The oldest.
Alicia. But oftentimes they would even maybe split it amongst oftentimes they would be like, we would then split it amongst all the kids. Would be like a potential default thing.
So, I have a question for Gladys then. If Lord Corse knew all this, and considering Joey doesn't know any of this, what did Lord Corse do then if he didn't punish his son when he found all of this out?
Alicia just kind of shrugs and says, I feel like he's always punishing us for everything at all times. Or was.
But if he did he punish Joey? If he did, then what was
Joey-
his response to all
Joey
this?
doesn't seem to realize that this had been his fault. Everybody, Alicia is reacting as if she didn't know this detail. Alicia is reacting as if she just thought the guy stole from them. She didn't realize that he used Lord Joey to do it in this way.
Yeah. But
And Lord Joey is only kind of like, oh.
Doesn't sound like he did anything.
Who?
Well,
Corse.
to punish Joey, yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like Lord Corse.
If no
did
one
not
even
punish
knew,
him.
then.
Exactly.
but Lord Corse clearly knew.
Well,
But I'm
I mean,
saying
that's
there
why
was-
we have this.
But I mean, there was no visible punishment. If
Yes.
Joey didn't know, then Joey didn't get a punishment that
Well, Joey doesn't
he
have,
saw.
isn't first in the will anymore. He doesn't get all this stuff anymore.
Well,
No, but
I mean, there's no proof of that. We haven't seen the will. He could still be getting something.
But
We don't
the thing
know.
is Lord Corse finds out he loses all this money and property and titles, and nothing comes. He does nothing about it.
Yeah, interesting. He didn't
That's my
didn't
question.
try to pursue the case.
Didn't hold it over his head or anything.
Didn't hold it over Joey's head at all.
But
Does that
No,
mean he
it's
wanted
like-
it to happen?
Does that mean what?
Does that mean he wanted it to happen for some reason?
That would lose a bunch of money and assets? I doubt that.
Could I possibly think of a reason why this would have been beneficial to Lord Corse?
Make an intuition roll, that's fine.
It just seems odd given his demeanor.
Can I use an aha point +1?
Always.
Cool.
You're
so
always
it's a
able
5
to.
Then.
To get to a 5 with that. You sort of think, and like it's not quite adding up, and then you're like, it's sort of an aha, but it's an answer. With an aha, you can think of genuinely no financial or like social benefit to that. Based on kind of you don't know the full numbers, but the way they're talking about it, assume it was probably a little less than £1 million total that would have been considered to be lost.
God.
Which at the
I
time
would
is
murder that
That's a
child.
lot. Yeah.
I would be childless. Like,
That makes it even more.
So yes,
know
so
for
Ivan
sure.
basically you get confirmation of I'm not seeing something. This makes absolutely no sense.
Do we know for sure
Aha!
this guy is
This
still
does not
alive?
make any fucking sense.
Oh, language,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr.
This does
Mr.
not make any freaking sense.
oh dear. And so the knife is a steak knife from dinner.
What's it doing here, and how is it?
So someone just smuggled a whole knife
Wait,
out of
Glad-
dinner, and no one noticed.
Gladys, was it exactly on the floor there where you?
No, it
where
was
we
it
saw you
was
pick- Oh, no, it
Gladys
was on the
seems
cushion, right?
Gladys seems like relieved to be explaining. It was hidden sort of in a yes, kind of in a cushion where I
Where
but
was I
yes.
sitting when I came into the study?
not in that chair.
Okay. And she wasn't either, right?
No, neither of you were in that chair.
By the way, meanwhile, I pulled the Whirlpool to summon someone.
You're still downstairs, aren't you?
No, she's up here with us.
She
Guys.
came with us.
No, I want the butler or somebody come
Oh,
in
okay.
so I can ask them about the wastebasket.
Understood.
right.
You summon
Okay.
servants. Very good.
Yeah, that's what I need to find out. What Slicket was writing.
A servant shows up after not too long. I'll say it is. As it happens, it is, in fact, Norman the butler.
Norman, my good man.
You're all up here. Yes.
Yes. We are doing little detecting. Could you find, please, the maid to clean this room this morning? We'd like to see if she found any papers in the basket and if there was any maybe burned papers or something in the fireplace.
I will check with the maids, but given the tumult of the morning, I do not believe anyone has cleaned this room.
Oh. Interesting. I thought.
Gladys says, "But that's so strange. I remember even discarding a few pieces of paper last night, or not yesterday afternoon when you all arrived."
Someone
This is-
cleaned the room, just not the maids.
Norman, my man, go on and ask the maids.
I will check with them, of course. He will go off to do that. Gladys kind of looking things over. Joey's just kind of, actually, I'm going to roll for Joey. He'll have to roll a 5. This is only a D6. Really, it should be a D4, and he has to roll a 5, but we won't quite do that. I roll a 2, so Joey just can't stand it any longer, and he does just kind of, ooh, I'm going to use this word in the old-fashioned, book writing way. But, so Joey, can't stand it anymore, so he ejaculates, "I did nothing wrong, for the record. I didn't, it isn't, it means exclaim in old-fashioned books."
I know, but you literally
know
didn't
that.
have to.
But no, I did, because this is an old-fashioned story. So he just loudly ejaculates in front of all of you.
What?
I did nothing wrong. I thought I was doing. I had no sense it wasn't the right thing to do.
Oh,
Joey,
young man,
Joey.
it was not your fault. You were fooled by a con man. You cannot blame yourself.
As you say that, Gladys begins crying and runs out of the room.
Oh, Gladys, my dear, I'm sure he fooled you too. It's, oh man, some men are just cannot be trusted. So sad.
Alicia says,
Who, Alicia,
yes.
who primarily works out of this room?
I mean,
Word,
not
what is that?
anyone specific. It's kind of a general use. I have seen Father in here from time to time. Mother doesn't typically, not Joey, but Vivian and Gladys would work here, and I'd occasionally sit here to read for a change of scenery or to jot a note or something. But it's kind of a room for whoever might need a private space away from their sleeping space or one of the public spaces downstairs.
Got a question.
Hmm.
Did Slickett ever visit the property anytime before today?
You mean before he was? You mean
Oh,
after
yes.
he was a forger?
You mean
Yes.
Thomas More?
Yes, Thomas More.
I had not seen Thomas More since many years ago.
Understandable.
But the first I saw him since I was much younger than Odette was last night.
I see.
I have had no record of him coming to this property or report.
Alicia, why didn't you go?
Go with him all those years ago.
Yeah.
She kind of goes to the window and gets very severe and sort of like her shoulders slump.
Are we zooming in on this?
It's raining outside,
The
of
pan.
course, but it's been raining.
Yeah.
They say that the young don't often know their true feelings. They're overwhelmed by emotion. But if I'm being honest, I think I knew who I was much more clearly when I was young. And I knew that in my heart that as much as I delighted in Tom, I did not really love him. But that isn't the reason I did not go. Father actually locked me in my room when he had uncovered the plot. I would have gone. I'm not sure I would have married him, but I would have gone to escape. But instead, Father locked me in my room. He had set up a marriage more to his liking.
So who wrote the note that said you weren't going?
I did. One of the maids snuck it out for me. You might have seen her Margaret Circle.
Ah, of course it is.
I didn't want him. I did care for him at the time. I didn't want him. The thought of him just waiting there for me and me not showing up and him not knowing why was...
Let's see.
Yes. She just sort of steps away. From the window. Was that? Did you get the answer you needed? I made that very dramatic-y or whatever.
No, that's
Are there
that's fine.
details you're not looking? Okay, cool. Yeah.
No, I'm just.
Get the eye drops.
This is my thinking face. You don't see it often because it doesn't normally work.
All right. So, as for this knife,
Oh right, there's a fucking knife.
First off,
I have a
let's
thought.
secure this, put it to safety. So
Maybe it's
Well,
one
well,
of those
what's your
before we
thoughts,
do
Sophie?
that,
things, the pink fish, red fish things. How is the saying go?
What are you talking about?
What are
I like how
What?
they. I love that they don't know. I'm
this
not saying a word. Keep
Hungarian
going.
The fish. They say it's the red fish. What kind of
Okay,
fish?
I don't know what the old
Halibut?
lady
red
is.
herring.
A red herring?
Oh yes,
A red herring,
herring.
yeah.
Maybe it's a red herring. Maybe somebody put it there just to confuse the waters.
So you know the concept of a red herring, but not the
Well, the-
phrase red
The
herring.
fish. Well, I just couldn't remember which fish it was. Fish confuse me. They
I mean,
all so slippery and.
Okay,
Hungary
well,
is landlocked,
this is irrelevant.
right? Doesn't have
Red herring. It's. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but this isn't the story. There would be no red herrings. Whatever's here is here. Yeah, I know, right? But
Anyway,
In any case, I would like to see all the other knives and then compare this one to them, see if there's anything missing or different
bring
about
this
it.
back to the kitchen.
Perfect. So if you take this, are you going to carry it by the handkerchief?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys take this, so actually, is everyone doing that? Is this a moment in which people are going to maybe go off and do their own thing? What do you guys?
I will.
I'm going to the kitchen.
I will go to my room for a bit, but
Okay.
I do want to ask the doctor a question first.
Wilson?
When you inspected Flickett's body earlier this morning, did it appear that the letter opener was to hide a different wound? Could this be the original weapon, maybe, or?
Oh. You mean when I investigated Slicket? Or
I believe
more?
I asked that earlier to you too.
From what I out of character, from what I remember, that was the only wound I saw. No
It was the
other
only
wounds.
wound, and you would also say that you didn't, though there was a lot of blood, you didn't see like blood spatter consistent with knife in, then pulled out, then another knife slipped in at its place or something. You
So, I'll
you
explain
strongly
that.
suspect he was killed by that.
Okay.
More or less instantly.
Because I had a thought about that too before we even found this thing. Because the letter opener knife is a strange one.
I do believe that the letter opener was the implement of murder and not this thing.
But this thing could be used for something else. Who
So-
knows?
This knife, as for why it's here, someone from who is eating amongst us must have smuggled it up here to the. Could have been Gladys, but given the way she was acting, I do not believe it was her, considering she just pulled it out and handled it. That
It could
massive.
only be Slicket or Gladys, right?
I mean, we all eat with knives. So.
Yeah, but most of us, oh, I guess technically you, Reginald, all of us stayed at the seance. So it'd have to be someone that left the room. That was,
Couldn't anyone have come to this room at night and have kept
But
their
the-
knife?
to get the knife, you'd have to go into the kitchen. Like it's a lot
But
more
you-
effort.
Anyway,
You could have kept your knife after dinner, could you?
But how to hide it?
People have pockets, and
I certainly don't.
I
mean,
don't.
this lady was
Damn it.
hiding all kinds of things. And I point to the Baroness.
Sorry.
It's okay. It requires no response. It's fine.
Okay.
It's not one you have to reply to.
her.
All right, so Reginald, you were going to go to the kitchen to check the knives. Sybil is going to go to her own room. Doctor, Baroness, and Immortal Ivan, what are you all going to do at this time?
I'm waiting for a servant or Norman.
You were going to
come
wait
back
here
with
for
him.
Norman to come back. Perfect. Dr. Gordon.
I'll wait for that in order to hear what it has to say.
Wonderful. Ivan,
Just wait, I guess.
you wait there. Great. So in that case, Sybil and Lord Reginald, as you two go off alone. Actually, Lord Reginald, Joey will go with you if you want.
Actually, I would like to go
Sure.
wherever Joey's going. I'd like to go.
Sure.
Okay, then we'll have a repeat of the. You know, it's funny. You two were not together in like the scenes for like the investigation and then talking about the investigation that the two of you and Joey did. So we'll do a scene actually with the three of you. Okay, so you guys will go off. You guys will do that. Dr. Gordon and the Baroness will remain here. Sybil's gonna go to her room. Alicia could come with you if you want, Sybil, but if you want privacy, you can go. In which case, just text me. some things.
I'd rather go alone. I'm feeling a bit faint.
Understood. So Sybil goes off alone.
It's a lot to take
Careful,
in.
my
It's
dear.
the vapors.
It's the vape.
All right.
Yes.
So you just
Oh, you are getting gassy?
not those
Oh, shit.
vapors.
You don't say
Baroness.
that to a lady.
That's what we- it's just
That's
something we say
exactly.
here in
Okay. So
the UK.
go to the kitchen. All right. So we will say they go to the kitchen. Norman's checking with people. I'm gonna do evens. Norman will come back up to the Baroness and the Doctor before we go to the kitchen. Odds will go to the kitchen first. I've rolled a 4. So the three sort of Ivan and the two young noblemen walk away. Gordon and Baroness, give me just 1 minute of awkward small talk.
While we're waiting for Norman, I'm gonna say, Baroness Esterhaus, I believe you're acquainted with the Marchioness. Am I correct? Good friends with her.
Yes, we are connected by our interest in the spiritual world.
I remember you and I have met on that Egypt tour way back a few years back, huh?
Yes, my dear Laszlo wanted to see the pyramids in his spirit form, of course.
Of course. Have you?
Why did you go? What was it for leisure?
Yeah, it's yes, of course. It was the thing all well established.
English gentlemen.
English
do,
gentlemen
yes,
have to do once in their life, right? They just have to go on Egyptology cruise, maybe take back an artifact or two.
Oh yes, very proper.
Out of character, they really should give some of those artifacts back. But anyway,
They belong in a museum.
Yes.
Yeah, not your museum.
Yeah, it
So,
belongs in a museum in my right down the
museum.
street from my house.
why are the pyramids in Egypt? Because they are too heavy for the English to steal.
anyway, so yeah, I'll say.
It's true.
But even there, I just couldn't enjoy it, right? Seeing the hustle and bustle with everyone else visiting, I can't erase.
Oh
Let's
yes, you've been
let's
in
not
the
get into that.
war. Yes.
Let's not get into that. It's a bit of, as they say in America, a bit of a bummer.
Oh,
Say
they
that.
say
What do you know about my
bummer.
homeland?
I don't. I only know what they say in those Hollywood moving pictures. They'll never catch on, man.
Oh, I think they are wonderful. Moving pictures. Yes, I like
Not
them
just
very much.
still pictures. It's artwork. One frame, one painting. It is great. You can't make every frame a painting in a movie, you know? It is impossible.
And they cannot be color either. What if sand in the movies at this time?
31?
1920s is when it started. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there was
Okay.
sound.
20?
With
Oh,
I will
yeah.
say, however, as you
Oh, yeah,
guys
we're
are having
32, that's right.
these conversations about Egypt, Norman returns to offer you confirmation that, as far as I can tell, none of our staff did come in here.
Oh, very,
Wow.
very strange. Thank you, Norman. Could you tell me if any of the servants were up late or up very early has anybody seen any strange going on?
I've spoken with all of them. None of the servants salty thing amiss
I see.
until this morning.
Indeed, indeed.
Very well.
Very well, my man.
Hmm.
You can go.
Thank you.
Let us know if anybody comes up with anything. Maybe they remember something.
Very well.
I wonder
Step away.
if there were papers in this basket. Somebody took them and they didn't burn them here, so where could they be? Could they have hidden them in this room, maybe? Is that possible? Maybe behind the books? Or did they take them with them?
Most likely, it wasn't discarded here. It's either on someone's person or with them
Hidden
on other
somewhere.
effects. Yes.
Or
I do believe one thing we can try, or you can try since you're acquainted with her. Since the Marchioness is right here, sleeps right there, perhaps she knows. Probably she's
what?
seen something, someone
Well-
who shouldn't have been here.
My room is next door, and aside from the noise last night, I didn't see anything. But yes, I will talk to Lady Amelia. Maybe we should look in rooms, just see if any of the fireplaces have burnt paper in them.
Sure. I'll go check. I'll search around the house for the papers. See if I can find anything.
Okay.
Thank you, young man.
Very well.
Can I
Baron.
search this room just to see if there's anything hidden here?
I'm gonna say this room has been pretty thoroughly searched.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
And people have rolled 5s and haven't like you
Okay.
you guys
Never
think you
mind.
found what was in this room.
We're not gonna go clue. There's a hidden passage behind there that leads
No,
to.
you would have already found that by the multiple successes searching
Right.
this room.
Okay. Where is Lady Amelia at this time?
I believe she was still on the ground floor. where I was.
I'll like to go off and find her.
Alright.
Are you going with that as well, Doctor, or you're going to go look around for papers?
I'll look around.
Understood. Okay, I'll come to you in a moment, Doctor. Sorry, I'm sending one less secret message. Secret message. As you go to Lady Amelia, we'll cut there because you're going to be talking to a person, Baroness. We can do that. Doctor, I might ask you to make a roll for me in a moment. But for now, we're going to go to Ivan, Lord Reginald, and Lord Joey as you guys get to the kitchen. Lord Reginald with a knife. Various staff members sort of see you, and kind of Joey kind of waves them, and they all sort of step away. Except for one kitchen maid, who sort of steps up. It's like, I was helping with the doctor's investigation, so I can help you if you're doing more macabre
The creepy
investigations
one.
into murders or anything, my lord.
But of course.
Whatever
She
you
will
need.
turn into a serial killer.
My name is let's just try to be on brand to things coming. My name happens to be Wednesday.
That's what I was about to
Oh
say.
God.
Last name Square.
No, it's Adams.
Miss Circle.
No, if we're doing it by this, I'm picturing her as being very like weirdly so I'm gonna say her name is Wednesday Line.
Line.
So Wednesday Line, the kitchen maid who assisted the doctor.
I would like to see all the other knives in the same set that we use for dinner.
Of course, Lord Reginald, I'll fetch all the knives. And she then kind of goes and begins just spreading out all the cutlery on the table. The butler's because the butler often supervises the cleaning of all the silverware and such, but kind of pausing for a moment. Wednesday Line then. She then brings over meat cleaver, chef's knife, paring that. She brings out the cooking knives as well. Just spreads them out on the table.
Wait, the butler's here with us?
He's seeing that Lord Joey's in the kitchen. He's hovering near. Oh no, he's up there. You're right. Actually, he watches and says, "I must go talk to them upstairs," and then he'll go to. This is happening before that part. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
Reginald, what was your hunch about the knife?
I wouldn't call it a hunch. I just wanted to see if there was any sort of thing different about this than the rest of them, or something missing, or anything that could possibly provide a clue by just comparison.
I forgot to ask this at the end, but would I be able to examine the knife to see if there's anything specific about it from my background, with like trick props and things like that?
Yes. Go ahead and make an escape artist roll.
Right, I can do that. It's 2d12s. Fine. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, here we go. No, that's cards. Yeah, it's 2 7s. So, an aha point.
An aha point indeed. So, as she, as you sort of look at this specific knife, it appears a totally mundane steak knife. It doesn't seem different than any of the rest at all. It's not a trick knife, it's not a special knife, it's not like a blade swapped out. And I will also say that you guys looking at all the other cutlery, you are all pretty certain, even Joey, who's now kind of paying attention since his name's been dragged into this. It's one thing when Lord Course dies, but now that people are talking about Joey having done something wrong, Joey's like really not taking that line down, let me tell you. You are pretty confident, especially because when you count the knives, there is an odd number. And even though they have backup knives, they have an even number of them, and Wednesday Line will
Earn this for us.
yeah.
so there's a knife missing?
Not enough.
More.
Yeah.
She also says, also Lord Reginald, Immortal Ivan, Lord Joey. All of these knives are accounted for as well. She
Very good.
touches all the kitchen knives.
This is not related to the
Very good.
to the.
You do your job well.
This isn't related to the case, but have you any interest in the show business? You have a very specific presence that I think I could use.
Show business. Oh, no, my lord. I'm a very proper young woman, I am. I know what happens at those shows, business shows.
Those are all
You-
rumors.
Oh,
of
she's
course.
quite the smart one, yes.
As wickedness and debauchery, sir.
Well,
I'm
very
just a
good, right?
simple girl with simple interests.
Well, I
Quite
cannot
true.
tell if you are being sarcastic. If
Oh,
you
no,
are,
I-
here's
she
my
is-
card. If you are not,
she is
you may throw it
Perfectly
away.
honest, I can tell you.
Yeah, let me know if there's any more bodies the doctor needs me to help him touch and look at. She gathers up all the
I'm
knives.
upset that she said touch. Like,
God, that
like
would be
if she had just said
so
if he
good.
needs my help, if he needs me to check on anything, but
It
she
would be
specifically
so-
said touch.
Good. In my business.
Understood. So, you guys have looked over the knives, and I would say you're fairly confident, Lord Reginald, that this knife was a part of the others. Are you going to retain the knife that was taken? Do you want to let her put it back with the rest of the cutlery?
Did I compare all the knives and see?
You
like, they
compared.
were all
It is
same?
the same as all of them.
There's nothing missing or different.
The only thing missing was that this knife was not here.
Okay. No, I think we should. For this, we should keep this one for now. We will deliver it when it is no longer needed. We should return it to its proper place.
This is this proper place.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah,
saying
no,
he
I-
will return
yeah,
it then,
I said-
but
Yeah,
yeah. So,
exactly what I said.
you take the knife with you.
I'll wrap
I-
it in the napkin. Like I'll keep it wrapped.
Perfect. Immortal Ivan, You did mention you wanted to go where Joey is. I don't know if that was just a friendly reminder. I don't know if you had something you wanted to say to him, but just you are with Joey. You guys have finished a task. You just want to be where you want to be where the Joey is.
Everyone wants to be where Joey is.
Yes.
Joey.
Sure.
Great. I will actually say that we will kind of cut to a sort of a meanwhile cross-cut. In the movie of this, we were cross-cutting between those scenes of the Doctor and the Baroness talking. But at this point, we actually we cut to the Baroness heading to the staircase, the Doctor sort of heading there as well. Sybil is walking down the stairs. And as you guys both sort of express what it is you're doing, Dr. Gordon, you say you're going to go look in all the rooms. Baroness, you say you're going to go talk to Amelia. Sybil, if you want to invite yourself along on either of those tasks, you can. If either of you don't want her to, you can, of course, push back. But that's
Look at all, like, the private rooms? Like all the rooms we're staying in? Is that what you're saying?
More or less, if they'll allow me to.
I'm going with the Doctor.
Understood. So, Baroness is going to go downstairs to Amelia. Doctor and Sybil are going to go look in rooms. We'll do even Baroness, odd Doctor, and because that's one odd Doctor and Sybil. I rolled odd. We'll go to you guys first. Baroness, we will cut to you downstairs with Amelia in just a moment. So, Doctor and Sybil, you have the map of the house. You are currently standing on the first floor landing. So sort of if you're looking at the steps, to your right is your room, Doctor, Ares. To your left is Athena. That is where Vivian stays. What is your plan?
Where's the map? Where's the map? Find the map. Find the map.
You can go up, you can go down, you can go left, you can go right.
Oh, there's the floor plans. All right. So let me see. We're on first floor?
You are on the first floor landing, kind of up at the top. Correct, Amundo.
I do want to really quick, I guess, as he's deciding, just even the rooms that didn't have anyone staying in, because they weren't all filled, right?
There are empty rooms on the second floor where you are.
Okay.
There
so
are
all the
not-
first floor ones are filled. Never mind.
All the first floor rooms are filled.
Okay. Then I'm staying with the Doctor. Never mind.
Yeah.
I guess just as a matter of course, we'll just, I think it'd be more polite, I guess, to check the empty rooms first, just to make sure no one was sneaking into them and using them for whatever, dumping
Wonderful.
stuff in there.
So you guys will go up to the second floor.
Well, I was going to check the empty rooms for my missing statue, honestly. But yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're of the same, similar game plan then,
Yeah.
just different reasons to do so.
Yeah. I disagree. I think we're after the same reason here. I think you care about my statue a lot more than
Once
you're
we
letting on.
find that, that's the key to this mystery.
I believe it is, yes.
Otherwise, this parlor master up above wouldn't have brought it up so much.
But I think we found
To be fair, he brought it up once, and I'm the one that's harping on about it. But
I was about to say, like, to protect my own good name.
That wasn't me. That was
yeah,
that was all KJ here.
yeah, that's all me.
Don't put that
That's-
shit on me.
So wonderful.
the
So you
statue
guys
go
go
missing
up to
again?
the second floor. On the
my
second.
room never had a Nemesis statue in it, or it's supposed to, but it never did.
Yeah, no, but wasn't there something?
There was a
Yeah,
Tarrasque
Tarrasque.
instead.
Oh, that was the trash
But
one.
You guys
she has
don't know
not
that, though.
shared that with any of you.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Dionysus is being used,
We already looked at, well, not we. They already
and they went through Dionysus. Nemesis is Sybil's room. The door to that is closed. Nyx, the door is closed as well. That is where Odette is currently resting. So down the ladies' hall, as far as you know, Sybil, there are 3 more doors. Well, there's also the bathroom, but there's 3 more rooms. There is Artemis, Hestia, and Hera. And Hera is where Alicia stays.
Oh well, I looked in Hera kind of sort of the day we got here.
You did. And then and she was in there. So
Then,
you chatted.
then murders happened since then, so.
Yes. yes.
So and then on the other side, Hephaestus, Eros, and Hypnos are all vacant.
I guess
So there
we'll-
are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vacant. Well, now, no, Nyx is not vacant, so there's 5 vacant rooms.
Also, have toilets been invented?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes, toilets have been invented.
When did Thomas
In
Crapper?
the
invent the toilet?
1920s?
I believe
They
it was
have.
Thomas Crapper who invented the crapper. Anyway,
Insanely is his name, yes.
I'll start at Hypnos then. Just a quick
Hypnos.
check.
You go down to the end of the gentleman. I like it. All right. The Hypnos chamber has a statue of Hypnos.
Shocker.
What?
Shocker.
Oh, I thought you said doctor. I was like, what are you saying to him?
Yes, Dr. Hypnos.
I will say that Hypnos, the statue of Hypnos, is nowhere near as sexy as the statue of Hades.
It obviously isn't the correct Hypnos.
He is,
Disagree.
and Hypnos, interestingly, has like wings coming out of his head. He is the he's the god. Is he in the Hades game? I now realize he might even be in the Hades game.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
Actually,
he
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Does he have owl wings
Adorable.
coming out of his head?
No.
Well,
I don't think so.
they screwed it up then.
Screwed it up.
Yeah, so he basically has these strange wings coming out of his head. With owl wings coming out of head. The room is otherwise sort of very similar to your own, Doctor. A quick look around the room does not reveal anything too interesting, kind of just if you're sort of looking at, like just looking at what's available.
Right.
So the way this is going to work is, because you guys are looking at every room, I'm
take a
going to
while, so-
ask you to, I will tell you if there's any visible clue, but
Okay.
I would like in each room, one of you to make a physical roll to just see if you spot anything else. You can
I'll
alternate
roll
who does it, or
personality.
Yeah, you want to go first?
Yeah. D8 for me. 4, but I'll use an aha point to make
okay.
it 5.
Just so you know, you do have 5 rooms you're looking through, so
Yeah.
understood. Here in Hypnos, you are confident that no one has been in this room other than servants since you guys have arrived. This chamber seems
Alright.
empty.
Cross that one off. Alright. Eros.
Eros. Great. Eros, as one would predict, has a statue of winged Eros with his bow, and his arrow that induces love or some creepiness like that. No roll is required, however, as you guys kind of look around to spot that back towards a little sort of table on the side, the same, because you all have like a little like minor desk table in your room or whatever. You think hotel room. On the floor next to that table is a large blot of ink.
On the floor?
Like it was
Mhm.
spilled?
Spilled ink.
Is it the same color that was on Flickett's?
I mean, if it's
Make
just
a
writing,
physical
it's all
roll
good.
for that to see if you can like deduce or make a knowledge roll for that. So you can like
If it's knowledge,
deduce
I'll
the
just
color
roll it
of it.
straight
It looks dark, and so was the stuff.
Oh.
But like to be like,
Well, so it's dry, like you couldn't like stick your finger in it and get a little bit of it, or
if you put your finger on it, Philip Googles how long does it take
Ink to dry.
ink
It is a cold night,
to
so
dry on wood. Oh. Well, fuck me. I'll say so here's what happens. You put your I didn't realize this. You put your finger on it. You pull your finger off and there is a faint bit of ink that was retained. Dr. Gordon, both of you please make a knowledge roll.
what the
It's not medical knowledge, unfortunately, Dr. Austin
7.
Gordon. A 7.
Yes.
Great.
Lucky
A
7.
5.
A 5.
Hey, we both know.
For different reasons, presumably, you are both aware that, like, ink does dry rather quickly, but it typically is not fully dry, especially on kind of like when it's been pooled like this on like a sort of semi-porous surface like wood, for 24 hours. Sybil, you have a very tiny bit, and it's only when you almost like rubbed your finger around in it a little, so you would suspect that this spill happened within the past 24 hours, but not super recently. It is not wet to the touch.
So what time did we
But
arrive
maybe-
yesterday? It was like it would have been. This would have been spilled before any of us got here.
No,
right?
no, no. It does. It means it remains wet, so it was within the last 24 hours, but probably not within the last like 5 or so. So like, it totally could have been sometime after you guys all arrived, and over last night. It wasn't like 5 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so someone's been in this room at the very least writing something. So first off, is there any stationery around in any of the...
There
There's a
is
desk,
a desk, and there is stationery on the desk. Please make a physical roll as you inspect it. You see a few pieces of paper, but nothing. Oh, notably, there is no ink in this room. I'll give you that one for free.
Well, it's in the floor.
True.
I rolled
But
a
in other words,
3.
the ink on the floor you would strongly suspect was the ink that was up here.
There's not even like an empty pot, like
There
the ink.
is no empty pot of ink.
I
Doctor,
have a 3. Should I use 2 aha points to get it up to 5?
it's entirely up to you.
There might be a dead ladybug around.
Dead ladybug.
Mhm.
Jerry Jigglehouse. Come on, guys. We'll get back there.
no.
Don't you worry.
Oh no!
I'm
I blocked
going
that out.
That was the
to
one
go
callback I
back
didn't need.
There
Gigolos, was it the
someday.
ladybug?
It's the other Sophia just brought it up
Alright.
and she
Yeah,
did-
Block that out completely.
I'll use my remaining aha points. What do I
Wow.
know from the stationery?
You look over the stationery, you do not see. The stationery you don't see ink, but with like kind of like almost as if you're pulling out the proverbial magnifying glass, or maybe Sybil pulls out her real magnifying glass because she has one. But like with the doctor's assistance and with your assistance and the doctor kind of looking. Doctor, you see some tiny little specks of ink splatter on the desk. And with a success, you are fairly confident that the ink, the ink thing was toppled from this desk, mostly fell into a big splash on the thing, but somebody was writing something, and you even see a few ink splatters along what was clearly a page. So in other words, someone was writing something on this desk. Ink spilled mostly on the floor, but there are a few, and you sort of pulled it up, and
the
and there they-
paper is different from the invitation paper.
it is
It's
not
in
the
this
same as
room?
the invitation paper, but it is the same as the paper in your room. So somebody was writing on this desk and spilled ink, maybe even on a piece of paper, but most of the ink spilled on the floor.
Interesting. Are there any other things inside the desk or in like closets or anything that's of note?
With your looking around, you see nothing else of note. But you do notice the waste paper basket is also empty. Meaning that if someone took a piece of paper, if somebody was discarding a piece of paper from this room, 'tis not in here.
Let's see.
And the maids wouldn't have cleaned this room if no one was in it.
Correct, Amundo.
While we're here, though, Miss Wilson, if you don't mind me asking, what accusations were levied at you in your invitation?
I don't mind you asking at all. Actually, there was no accusation levied at me. There was just an implication that my father may not be who he says. And so I came here hoping that somebody knew the truth.
I see. Interesting. I remember. You remember you said yesterday you were asking if all of us had been brought here, by blackmail. However, one thing I forgot at the time when I agreed, wasn't the Baroness invited by the Marchioness and not by Lord Corse?
I think she was invited by Lord Course.
I don't know.
I asked her about her invite, and she had said that that she didn't understand it very well, and it was an excuse to see her friend, the Marchioness, anyways.
I see. Okay. All right. I figured there might have been a possibility there. Only us had been, had accusations levied against us.
I believe the odds that it's just us and Slickit are low at this point.
Potentially. All right. Okay. So let's continue looking in the other empty rooms, and let's check up on Miss Odette, see if she's well as well.
Hephaestus, you see nothing out of the ordinary with a cursory glance. Sybil, why don't
That's
you make a
Ivan's
physical
room, right?
roll
Yes, sir.
for secrets and lies?
4. Sorry. I was
4?
thinking of using an aha point, but I don't know that it's worth it.
You see nothing of note and do not investigate sort of further. Nyx is next if you're sort of going like in a horseshoe, or do you want to go do Hestia and Artemis and then Nyx?
Nyx.
Nyx is next. You knock on the
Might as
door
well
to
do the
Nyx.
horseshoe.
The curtains are open and Odette is actually standing.
Oh, I forgot
Margaret's-
Odette was in that room. I'm sorry. No, I would have done the empty room
No,
first.
the doctor wanted to check on Odette.
Oh, yeah, but I
Yeah,
would have done
so-
that last. But that makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, you want to walk that back? You want to go to Hephaestus or to Hestia?
If you don't mind.
We'll go to Hestia. Sounds great.
Hestia, Artemis, and then yeah.
You enter Hestia. The room feels like it has been occupied more recently than the others. But you don't see anything immediate. Sybil,
There's a
Roll.
make a physical. Go ahead, doctor.
6. Stop at the clowns. A plus, bitches.
A
rolled
plus
a
would only
6
be
out
out
of
of
8.
12.
No, because I can only roll. That'd be if I got extra credit. Can I do extra credit?
Means what it means is that you are incapable. Like you don't have the aptitude to
No,
be top of the class.
this means that I got like an ADA pass or something, and I got extra time on my test because the doctor said you had to.
If you-
So I got my 6.
But here's the thing: we can just call it pass fail, and then you did as good as anybody.
No, but I'm top of the class. I got a 6 out of 6.
All right.
This is gonna
Well,
be
in good news, you did succeed. So Sybil, something seems. Reginald.
I was gonna say she should set up her a participation award.
I will
Sybil,
burn
you're-
this to the ground.
Oh, and I didn't mention that there was a Hephaestus statue, of course, a guy with like a smithing thing, and he's hitting a hammer and whatever. The statue of Hestia, she's the hearth goddess. Goddess of like the harvest and such. So she's, or is she harvest and hearth? I think she's just hearth. Hold on. In any case, she's just sort of standing there. She's got kind of like a sort of like a draped sort of scarf over her head. You look over this room, Sybil. Something seems off. Perhaps one of the rugs seems slightly more amiss than others. But Sybil, what you spot is that the runner around the bottom of the bed is slightly disturbed on the far side.
On the bed?
Like the runner that goes around like the bottom of the bed in old-fashioned beds.
Oh, the skirt?
The skirt, yes, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was called a runner. Sorry.
It's askew?
It's
Oh, is there
slightly
something-
askew on the
Was there
far
something
side of
stuffed
the bed.
under the mattress?
Yeah, I will look under the bed.
As you look under the bed, you see a small, angry white face staring back at you.
That's upsetting. Is it human? Is it a cat?
It looks human-like, but is of course made of marble.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna scream anyways if it's small in it, but yeah.
Sure.
Is this Nemesis
Nemesis.
So she's.
hidden away in Hestia's room?
I found her and she's angry about it.
I mean, it's Nemesis.
So
I
she
try to drag her out.
So, Doctor, she screams and then starts dragging something out from under the bed.
What'd you find? What'd you find, Miss Wilson?
I found a statue that's supposed to go into my room.
So you did?
I've been looking
Okay.
for this all weekend, really.
I mean, since yesterday.
Reginald, Ivan, what is it you guys did after the kitchen? Just kind of chill out? Pound and bruise? Being cool?
I will go
I
see
would-
what the.
I would ask Joey a few questions about the relationship between the con man and the family. Do they hear from him ever, or has he totally cut ties? Or
He
do they hear
says,
about him? Do they know anything?
"Oh
about
no,
him?
I don't. I've heard a few references to that. They think he's in America now, but I don't know anything about him. I haven't heard him since that day. Which I suppose I should have realized I had something to do with it, since I never saw him again after that. Oh well. Shall we drink? And Lord Reginald, where is it you were saying you were going to go?
After this conversation, I was just gonna go find the others.
Well, I will say that we'll just say some timeline stuff, whatever. You guys do hear a scream from upstairs.
I'm going to rush to it.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Someone needs our help, Ivan.
Do I hear footsteps in time to push the statue back?
I'll say that you potentially do, but we're actually going to cut to, also back in time, Baroness. You find, down in the library, the Marchioness and Vivian are still sitting there as you sort of enter to speak with them.
Oh. Lady Amelia, my dear, how are you holding up? Oh, so stressful.
I'm quite upset about,
Oh,
multiple
I
murders
understand.
and the weather. Apologies for the weather. Yes, sorry about the weather.
I believe the weather is the least distressing thing right now. There's this thing's going on. I couldn't sleep last night. It must have been a feeling of dread or something that came over me. When I woke up, I heard noise in the study.
Oh no. Well, it's
No,
probably just the house settling. Oh.
Isn't this house a little bit too old to be settling?
No. Oh, I know, I'm always settling. And my bones are always cracking and scraping against.
Well, I heard a noise in the sitting room. I thought somebody was in there.
In the study?
Yes,
Oh.
in the study.
Oh.
Didn't you hear anything over there?
No, I slept all alone in my bed all night
But
long.
of course you did. Oh, since your husband been up in Hades, I totally understand. It's quite obvious.
Vivian says, "Perhaps you didn't hear what you heard, Baroness."
Oh, it could be. It's possible. It was very, very stormy in the night. Who knows?
I'm on the
Maybe
other
it
side
was
of
the
you, and
spirits. Maybe it was the spirits making noises.
perhaps. I heard nothing as I slept last night,
Oh,
and I'm in the
of
room
course.
next to yours.
These upstairs.
She's actually not. I take it back. She's in Athena. She's in a room ahead, but we'll say
Oh.
she's just wrong. She said
Gladys
that
and
anyway.
Aphrodite.
Gladys and
Isn't
Aphrodite.
it?
This is Vivian talking. So
Oh, this is Vivian Zatina.
Vivian is not, but she says, "I heard nothing. But Amelia will say, "But hopefully, I am worried about. Do you think we're safe?"
Well, I didn't even think about it. You think the murderer still here might have designs on one of us?
I certainly hope
It's-
not. I wish
Oh,
Ivan were
I-
here. He's very strong
Jesus
and
Christ.
intimidating. Perhaps he could keep me safe.
Yes.
She's moved
I'm
on
sure.
real fast. I
wish
mean,
he'd
like,
keep- I wish he'd
Considering who
stop.
she was with, I don't blame
I mean,
her.
like, I don't
But actually
blame
what?
her necessarily, but also that's
A bit for appearances, ma'am. I mean, come on.
yeah.
Maybe I can get rid of Vivian.
Hey man, how long
Sure,
has it been since
Vivian.
had
If
any?
you
Come on.
you ask to talk to Amelia alone, Vivian will leave. She's happy to do that.
I hear something is troubling me. This news about this man, this conman, Roy Martin, who married your poor. Yes, it feels so peculiar to me that your husband simply allowed him to get away with his shenanigans. It didn't seem to be in your husband's personality to let such affront
Oh,
pass without reprisal. How is this possible? And all that money lost, I can't
well,
imagine.
it is a lot of money, but not so much for us. But suddenly he was. Oh, well. After what Roy Martin did, Joseph changed.
Oh, that is. Was he a pleasant person before?
No,
Oh,
but
I was really hoping she'd say that.
he's
He became kinder after that.
he became much nicer after that. I'm so glad you've seen
Jesus
the new him and not the
Christ.
old.
This is
No,
him being nice.
She will say, he was. Before, he was cruel in the usual way. I took it as a natural part of life. You know these men.
well, I heard of them.
They're all the same, really. They're all beasts if you get down to it.
Oh, yes.
But...
Ah,
but after Roy Martin, I remember he said things that were cruel
oh,
for their own sake. It seems so odd to imagine that he's gone, and yet I fear that he'll still appear and start berating me for saying such things, but he became almost happier
oh.
after what happened with Roy Martin. It seemed as if some small sense of decorum he'd always had was gone. He became cruel for its own sake to so many souls. He often liked to rile people up, but it became almost all that drove him after that. And yet he'd never speak of Roy Martin again. Only if it would hurt Gladys to hear the name.
Has any of you heard of him since? Any news of his?
As far as I understand, he's in New York.
Has anybody actually seen him?
There were reports of his presence, but nothing to go on, and this is just what I've heard idly. I've never looked into it. Oh, but... I got too low, sorry. But... Oh. That is when things changed. It's when he became far more unbearable.
Oh. I pat his hands.
Oh, thank you.
It's over, Nadir. It's over.
Oh, yes.
He can be cruel to you. And Joey is such a nice boy. Not... well, he's very nice. He's a kind boy. He might not be the...
Gonna roll for the machine. That's
smartest of
actually
your
this is
children.
a D8 for her. Hold on.
Okay.
Do that. 3. All right. She starts crying.
Oh, what's wrong, my dear? Tell me. Let it out.
I was always waiting for him to take out what had happened on Joey, but he never did. He barely spoke to the boy after that.
Oh, why do you think it was so?
Almost as if he no longer saw the point. Oh, poor Joey. I remember overhearing him saying, I have no son.
How cruel! How could he?
Never to Joey. Not when he... I don't even think he thought I could hear him. But that is what was in his heart. After Roy Martin. I do hate that man. Oh.
Can I roll the deduction or something when
What are you trying to do?
reading between the lines? Things
Uh,
that he's not saying.
I don't think... No, I don't think there's more to get from that. She seems genuinely very upset. She seems very vulnerable, so she's probably telling you more than she ever has before. But she basically has indicated the sort of the non-weird voice version of that is that after Roy Martin, Lord Corse grew almost like more gleefully cruel. Like something was gone. Some behavioral thing.
Pigment of his humanity is
Something,
gone.
and he just became so much meaner, and he was kind of just like the kind of guy you
I'm
saw
just
last night.
surprised that he didn't murder Roy Martin, because I would expect him to do that.
But it seems that he then took almost no interest in Joey after that. But he never punished him or did anything cruel to him. But she said she overheard him once, and this is she says when she's like breaking down crying, that he said, "I have no son."
Well, those are just words.
At this point, you both hear a scream from upstairs.
Damn it.
Oh,
How big? This house can't possibly be that big. Come on.
Actually, that's a
hearing me
really
scream.
fair
Big
point.
fucking
Baroness, roll a luck roll.
that's a D6, right? For
It's
me?
whatever it is on yours. Hold on. D8 for you.
Do it. Alright. I rolled a
How small
5.
is this mansion? I bet there's only 2
Simplified.
doors in the whole fucking
I'll
place.
tell you what happens here, Baroness. You hear the distant echo of a scream, and then you hear Ivan and Reginald's voices in the distance being like, "Wait, is that a scream?" And you hear like them rushing upstairs.
God damn.
must go help.
I better go find Mr. Immortal and send him down to comfort you.
Oh yes, protect me, please. I need his hands on me for protection. Ah.
Yes, on your shoulder.
All this talk of my broken family makes me so in need of a strong man.
Don't you?
Somebody's gonna be the
Roll a
rebound guy.
deduction on that. Well, I already know what they're doing, so
That's fine.
why the hell? Yeah. So yeah, I'll go in search of Ivan.
Just heard him go upstairs.
All right,
Yep.
so Doctor, you see her scream, and she references her statue. And Sybil, you know that people are probably like rushing up here, you know, but you're trying to shove the statue under the bed, and Doctor, you're like, whatever. So the good news for you, Sybil, is it's not hard. Like, you barely, you like half pulled it out. You can easily put it back, and you can also put the bed skirt down more cleanly, whatever. That's the good news to prevent Ivan, Reginald, other parties such as that. The bad news for you, and I kind of had almost revealed this, and you shouldn't have walked, well, you could have walked it back if you just would have known.
No, I realized.
Odette
You
is very
didn't have
close.
to hide anything.
Yeah.
There's
So-
nothing to hide.
No, there
So,
definitely
Dr.
is.
Gordon, you're doing that. You hear the door open to the side, and Odette, though, like, not looking 100%, she's coming out, like, looking really scared.
Okay.
And she has a candlestick in her hand.
But I hear the
and
footsteps, right?
She's rushing. You hear the footsteps, and Margaret Circle's coming. Oh, don't worry, me love. I've got a candlestick as well. I'll stab someone with for you. I can, and then I'll roll over him.
If I
I'm
can
a
hear
circle.
Odette's and the circle's footsteps,
Yeah.
I want to. Okay. If I sat down on the bed, could I kind of cover the statue if it's not all the way in with my dress before she gets? If I sit, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
All right.
I don't even know what you're trying to accomplish here.
Here's
I
what
will
we're gonna do.
explain
for
it all
that.
in a moment, good doctor.
Here's what we're gonna do for that.
I'm just so confused here.
It
the
should
doctor's
be.
in there
You
like,
Oh,
should be.
I'll
Unless
tell
everyone
you
rushes
what
in here
though.
and blames
We're
me
gonna
for
give
trying to
so
attack
you're
you.
actually gonna have a pretty decent. You're gonna have a decent chance. This is a physical roll, but because you're trying to do it quickly, I'm gonna allow it to be running speed. So please roll 2d6 as long as one of them is 5 or higher. You have around a 51% success chance on this.
All right, 6 on the first one and a 3 on the second, so I don't get
Okay,
the
so
aha
you don't
point,
get an
but
aha
six.
point, but you do get a success. So you managed to. So basically, as Odette rushes in, Doctor, you're sitting there. She's already. You did say to the doctor what you found.
Yes, I
So
did.
the doctor
and then
knows, but Doctor basically yeah, go ahead, Sybil.
What is
I'll
going
just say-
on here.
don't mention the statue.
And then as Odette and Margaret Circle rush in, Odette now like panting, like, what? Sybil, are you all right? She's kind of coming over to you.
I'm so sorry. I thought I saw a ghost. I'm just so tired from the weekend. I'm exhausted, and it's all just been such a strain.
Oh, I thought you saw a ghost? She comes and sits down on the bed next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yep.
Sybil, as she does this, you feel like you guys. There's a mattress between you. It's not a full Prince of the Pea, but you feel like some resistance as the mattress. Like it's like only some inches of stuff, whatever. You can feel you're sitting on a thing, and she's sitting next to you. But as of now, she's just got a hand on your back and is looking at you. And Margaret Circle's just standing in the door, like, "Oh, there are ghosts around this place. There are. I always say that. Oh, they got me rolling in me sleep. I am." And she just kind of stays. She'll walk away. "I'll get tea," and she goes to get tea for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Odette, you must be feeling much better if you were able to run out, and
I'm
glad to see it.
I'm worried about if someone else. At this point, you hear a lot of footsteps in the hall, as Ivan, Reginald, and
Joseph the Younger.
Joey, Lord Joey, are running up. Dr. Gordon, have you stepped into this room, or are you still in the doorway?
I've been in the room, yeah.
You're in the room proper. Okay, so they're kind of coming. They see the open door. They see Margaret Circles passing, like, "Oh, where's no." As you guys are running up the door, the very near adjacent door to Hera opens. Kind of inward, as they do. And sort of it's like you see Alicia there, and saying, "What's going on? Is everyone all right?"
No, I heard a scream. Going to check it out.
I'm sorry for the bother, everyone. I thought I saw a ghost.
Wait, did we enter? Are we still going to the room, or?
I think
At
she's
this
shouting
point,
at
you
the
hear
side.
her calling because she hears you all, and everybody steps into Hestia.
Who do we need?
Basically,
What's going on?
Alicia kind of like locking her door behind her, and then walking in. So now Alicia, Odette, all of you, Baroness, you can be sort of coming up behind them if you want. So yeah, as you, so basically now all of you plus Odette and Alicia.
What's going on?
Alright,
Who was
listen.
attacked?
Feeling okay,
I'm so
Miss
sorry.
Wilson?
Odette, did you scream?
Everyone. I did. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
thought.
Sybil, you screamed.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. I forgot my name. I'm so tired from
What's,
It must
all
have
of
been quite
this.
terrifying.
what
Yes,
happened?
I thought I saw a ghost.
What?
And
Where? Who? When?
It was nothing. It was just a curtain moving.
Was it here?
Yes.
Lord
Yes.
I
Reginald.
like
was
dive
in
into the
here.
bed.
Lord Reginald.
Are you for
Um,
real right now?
He no, here's the fun thing. He genuinely is. Lord Reginald, you try to dive under the bed in terror. I want you to make a general. This is not. You don't use any of your specials. Just a physicality roll.
You should have said you saw a spider or a mouse.
If
Jesus
I
Christ.
could reach through Zoom to wring your neck right now, I would.
Here's the
I
thing.
want-
You said ghost, and I was like,
I
oh,
know what
boy,
I
this is gonna
said.
suck.
You don't have to tell me what I said. I know what I said.
So Reginald is scared of ghosts.
Why didn't
What
he
do
go
you
to the
think he
seance?
didn't? What do you think I didn't go to seance?
I thought you were doing something nefarious there.
Ah, exciting.
Reginald. Oh no!
Oh,
It's
I
when you
love
said ghost, I was like, oh
Sybil
god,
wouldn't know that he's scared of ghosts.
she would not.
Nobody.
He
no, I
doesn't.
would not. I don't tell anybody.
He
this,
didn't
no.
say I'm
Cool.
leaving because I'm scared of ghosts. He said I'm getting out of here.
Excellent,
Gladys actually asked him
excellent.
numerous questions where she was like, do you not want to like be at like the cool thing? It's like you're seeing like gambling. He's like, no, seances are nothing like a gambling. Lord Reginald, what'd you roll for your physicality?
I rolled a 4.
A 4. Okay, so you try to like get under the bed, but there's just no space, and instead now you're just like cowering on the. You haven't been able to like easily roll under since there's already people on it, and it's not like a super high bed.
Both Odette
so you-
and Sybil are right over you, looking down.
Yeah,
at
and,
you.
and they're like kind of on the further side, so you're trying to jump under, but you're not able to just seamlessly get under. Doctor, you see him like diving for the ground. Odette stands up kind of like nervously. Sybil, what do you do as he's like on the ground cowering?
Is he under the bed?
He has not made it under the bed.
I'm imagining the meme. Do you know the
Uh,
meme where they have a picture of the women looking down underneath, and then you see like the frog up, looking up with his dropping his fries or whatever on the floor?
I haven't seen that one
Oh
actually.
man.
Okay, so Sybil will just kind of, Reginald. No, there is no ghost. I was saying I thought I saw one in here. It was just a I missed.
But if
It's-
you think
it-
you saw one, it means there could be one.
No,
Oh,
no. I'm sure I didn't. I'm sure it was just me being tired from all of this murder happening around me.
We'll
I
basically
assure
say
you.
this is like Lord Reginald like bodily like dove to like try to like slide under the bed, and he just didn't make it, so he's just like on the ground on his
Yeah.
belly.
I assure you, there is no ghost going to hurt you here.
Come out, Lord Reginald.
I
I'll
promise.
help up.
Okay. Oh, you scared me.
We're all a little
I know.
stressed from
I'm
the
so
I
sorry.
need to
Yes.
sit down, and I'll sit down next to Sybil.
Yes.
Oh.
Perhaps we should all go down and have a drink to calm
Lord Reginald,
calm our nerves.
and KJ, I'm sorry, but like things are. I have to honor what's happening. Reginald.
Okay. If he's going to sit on, if he's sitting on the bed next to me,
Yeah.
is
As
Odette,
my
so
ass is coming
Odette
down.
still on the other one?
Odette hopped up when he jumped. She was
Okay,
like.
so he's
frightened.
sitting next to me. Okay.
He's now sitting down
Um,
next to you.
So the
Yeah?
ass is coming down.
Okay. Okay.
Reginald.
I'm trying
It's
to.
all slow mo.
Okay.
Sybil's going over the options.
Reginald?
In her head.
Don't.
just-
Okay. I'll let him sit. But I'm going to grab his wrist, and I'm going to look him in the eye and say, "Don't say a word." Like just very quietly, just to him.
Okay. Lord Reginald. Please roll an intuition.
That's my D6.
It is a D6
Probably.
for you.
I make him roll a luck to make sure he understands. Last time I
He's
gave him
about to roll
eyes,
a
you made
luck.
him roll luck. Okay.
He's about to roll a lot.
Okay, it's a 5.
Okay.
Okay,
So
she
you
understands.
get what she's saying.
This is 5.
Because what were the exact words you just said to him?
Don't say anything.
About the ghost or about right now?
No, what did you say to him when you gripped his arm?
Don't say a word.
Okay. So the good news for you is he hasn't interpreted that as the ghost is here threatening me.
Okay. Glad to hear
He's-
that.
He successfully just
Cool,
interpreted it
cool.
as you don't want him. He's had he rolled a failure on that, his read would have been the ghost has a ghost knife to my back. But fortunately, all he understood is you don't want him to say anything. Great. Roll a luck roll, Reginald.
Come on.
Okay, that's a D12. That's an 8.
Of course it is.
As you sit down, you do feel that there's something under the bed. But she's gripping your arm. And this is your friend. This is like the person aside from Joey you're somewhat tight with. And she's just looking at your dumb weirdo face. Just so I am gonna roll
I'm just
something
gonna,
in response to
just
that,
gonna
though.
look at her and just be like,
Odette is just like Odette is kind of turning sort of white, Doctor, as she's like all this excitement.
Okay, I'll look over Odette, make sure she's okay. Then
Take her back to her room.
take her back to her room.
Let,
Don't worry,
let her rest.
Miss. Are you okay?
I can-
You can stand.
I'm fine. Sorry,
All right.
I'm fine. And Alicia says "You
She's
should
turning
go."
white.
She it seems like the excitement of all of this. She's kind of like, and Alicia's just like, you should go back to bed if the doctor's telling you to. And Odette sort of glares at Alicia and then just gives you like a little like squeeze on the hand, Sybil, and then walks out.
So now we're here.
She's the only one that's left.
Who's the only one that's left?
That.
Odette's gone. She left.
Yeah, but just her.
Alicia and Dr. Gordon and Baroness and Immortal Ivan are all in the room.
It's very awkward.
Are you, Sybil, who do you want to leave?
I guess anyone that wasn't here before me and the doctor, and I guess Reginald can stay because he's here now and he's not leaving until I say he is.
All right, then I'll tell you what, Sybil.
Mr. Immortal.
Sybil. Oh yeah, the Baroness is saying Ivan wants to go down, so actually that works for
Mr.
you.
Immortal, the Marchioness is requesting your presence.
My services are needed. I will be there.
So the two of
Okay.
you leave. That's convenient. That's an assist.
Who's left?
Just Alicia.
Well,
Hey, Sybil. All I
I'm
gotta
still
do.
there though. Can I have some deduction or something to see if they're up to
Actually, no.
something?
I'm gonna do a rare thing here, where this is gonna affect the situation here, Baroness. You're telling Ivan. Sybil,
Mm-hmm.
please make a luck roll.
I literally part of me wants to reach for my inhaler right now. Like I can't breathe.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
fine.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
This is not supposed to be such a tense game, but it got so tense, and it all is seemingly interplayer. I guess there's one NPC.
Because of one word.
7. All right, so I'm going to say, as it happens, as Odette goes to her room, Alicia goes with her. And I'm going to say, Baroness, that because of Sybil's shenanigans and the literal asthma attack that we're inducing in KJ, I will say that, Baroness, the impression you got from the Marchioness is that she would love for you to bring Ivan back. So she would love to keep she wants her two sort of comforting people with her.
All right, but better be some sherry in that for me.
There's been as much sherry as you've wanted the whole. Yeah, absolutely. So they leave. So now you're in the room.
Did Alicia leave to her room, or did she leave?
She
like she's-
went. Well, Alicia's room is like right next to this room,
That's what I'm saying. Is she?
but
Which
she seemingly has gone up to Nick's with Odette for
Okay.
now.
one floor removed.
That.
And then, just quick question: was anyone staying in Artemis? Or was that
Oh
was
no,
another
not
empty room?
one floor removed. You guys are on the second floor.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
So yet right now she is Sybil. You suspect you don't know how long she'll be. If she comes back to her room, she'll pass you. No one is in Artemis, but you guys. You haven't checked Artemis yet.
Yeah, I know, but no one that we know of was staying in there.
No one that you know of is staying there.
Perfect. Okay.
He's still holding onto my wrist.
No.
It's
Once
now
everyone
all-
is safely gone, I will
It's
let
not all
go.
blue from
Call
cut
you
off.
a fool, and I will try and push the statue back exactly where I saw it.
All right.
So Reginald, you stand up, and Sybil's Sybil's moving something under the bed. You're rubbing your wrist. Gordon's like, "What the hell's going on?"
Okay. Gordon, come here, please.
Okay.
Ah,
I'm coming
right.
over there.
So the statue
Uh-huh.
of Nemesis was missing from my room.
Uh-huh.
It's under this bed right now.
Okay.
I believe. Reginald, I did not hurt you. Come on.
No, I'm just getting blood back into my
Oh,
hand. He's
jeez.
squeezing me so hard.
Reginald, what was in your invitation? What threat was in your invitation?
Mine?
Yes.
Was it by Lord Course or was it by were you invited by another party?
No, it was Course. He knows that let me make sure I don't say anything.
Hey man,
incorrect like that.
you're Lord Reginald. Say it however you want.
I don't
You could
wanna-
say it wrong, roll a luck roll, and we'll still get the right information. It's fine.
Turns out his name is
Or he says it right, rolls a luck roll,
Fine.
and he's lucky enough that you don't follow.
Yeah. He sort of knows that, well, he's blackmailing me.
Yeah.
Or he
Clearly, someone is toying with every single one of us here. And this statue is proof of it. And now that the family knows, maybe, I don't know, someone has put it here, taken it from my room before we got here and put it here. Last night, when I got into bed, something else was in that statue's place, meaning it was intentionally moved to put something there to scare me. I don't know who put it there. I don't know why, but we are being toyed with, and this whole weekend is just some sick game by the killer or killers, I don't know. And this statue is the proof of it, and I need to find out who put it there.
So, why are we
It-
hiding it?
Because if I can't move it now, Alicia could come out of that door any moment. I have to leave it here. It could be anybody, and I need to make sure that no one knows that that I know it's there.
Okay.
But
Understood.
what if it holds a?
Speaking of
Will
which,
have to be a future problem then.
you hear Odette's door open and some footsteps coming down the hallway. By now, you're like the statue is not open, but Alicia does appear in the
Okay,
doorway.
I'm going.
Sybil,
I
are
just-
you all right?
Yeah. Yes, I believe. Sorry, I'm just very taxing night.
Of course,
probably-
this is. I'm sorry for not realizing what a strain this might be on you as well. It certainly has been on me. Lord Reginald, are you all right?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Could use a drink.
Well,
I
you
believe we all could. Yes.
should, by all means, please. Our hospitality, if it cannot provide you a weekend free of murder, and again, apologies for the weather. We at least can provide liquid succor.
Yes.
Are you?
Still there, Baroness.
She's just kind of like looking at you guys, like, and the doctor. She's kind of like not even looking at him because he didn't scream and or dive on the ground.
That checks out.
She's kind of looking at these younger two.
But,
be fine.
we'll be down for drinks in just a moment. We just need a few more minutes to
Understood.
collect ourselves.
She goes She walks out. She does not go to her room. She seems to be going downstairs.
So, just want us to leave.
First off, though,
We need.
what were you gonna say about what was in your invitation, Reginald?
Oh, it was. I mean, I sort of signed these weird documents that gave me money, and now somebody said that was embezzlement, so
Interesting.
I'm honestly not sure. Somebody said they were gonna give me money, and I mean more money for gambling, plus, but
This isn't.
probably
Yeah, go ahead, Reginald.
should have read the fine print.
Reginald, go ahead and make a knowledge roll for me.
Okay,
Good boy.
that is also a D6, I believe.
It's just a d6. Either of you can also say this, but I'm going to give him the opportunity to get it first if he... 33% chance.
It's a 3, and I only have 1 hot point.
Never mind.
Alright.
If either of you want to say an obvious statement now, you certainly can.
What obvious?
I don't know what you mean by obvious statement. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Based on what
Then never
Reginald
mind.
has said, I'm not sure what's obvious here, but doesn't. Wait, you don't work for anyone. How could it be embezzlement? Do you work for someone? I thought you were just some rich.
Wait,
Oh.
who gave you the papers? Is that the question?
Well,
Or who?
it certainly is a question, but the broader point is... tell you what, make a knowledge roll, Sybil.
I don't know Reginald.
Sybil's not very
What's obvious
smart.
about this fellow?
Well, you've got more hot points than I do.
Yeah. I got a 4, but I mean, does using the odd point and hitting the 5 mean I have to ask the question?
No, you'll know what it is.
Okay, then yeah, I'll use the point, I guess. 'Cause
Understood.
It's 39.
There is, and it's not a huge thing, but there is just a sense of like, huh. So he was just, if you're taking him at his word, he was just stupidly signing some documents, just like his buddy Joey did. That's interesting. It's like exactly what you guys just heard Joey got in trouble for. He just signed some stuff because somebody sort of said to, and now Lord Reginald's like, oh, apparently that was embezzlement, and Joey's like, oh, apparently I signed away my family fortune.
I guess
Guys, just
I guess
Is
Sybil
the
will
sa-
point that
is
out.
the
Yeah.
same guy behind it?
Yeah. Sybil will point that out. But
Is
Let-
Roy
you know.
Martin back?
Oh.
Wait, how long have you known Lord Joseph Course, the younger? That I have to say.
Joey?
Yes, that's his name, Joseph.
For quite a bit at least, right? Like,
yeah, you've been
long,
friends
long
for
time.
you've been friends since prep school, wearing your ridiculous.
A few years.
Yeah. You certainly knew Joey back when he did that thing 7 years ago.
Did you
Oh.
know Roy Martin, who he was? I mean,
Make a luck roll, Lord
have
Reginald.
seen.
9.
You remember you have encountered Roy Martin back when you were a teenager. You never talked to him, but you have seen him. You know what he looks like, and that is not who had you sign documents.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know because you didn't write here that I don't actually remember their name, or it's not important or whatever.
It was just some lawyer people.
Who said,
That
hey,
tracks.
we'll give you. Yeah. They told me they'd give me money, and so I signed it.
Yeah.
I was kind of inebriated too, so.
At this point, as he's talking about this stuff, you hear a clattering of a tray as Margaret Circle comes in with a tray of tea. Oh, I've got tea for you, miss. Here you are. You look
thank
sort
you,
of...
Margaret.
You had seen a ghost, had you?
No, I it's a trick of the mind. I
No, ghosts are very real. They
No,
are.
no, they're not, Margaret. No, they're not.
No,
Thank you
in this
very much.
very
No.
room.
Yes, I'm sure. Margaret, hey, you should
You
check on
might have
Odette.
you
Mm.
might have seen the ghost.
Odette was
of
looking
Quentin.
quite sickly earlier. You should check on her.
Oh, but she's been sickly for a while. It's nice to minister to someone new. It is.
Mhm.
But she's basically just like she's talking. No, but the ghost of Quentin, he died in this room. He did.
Quentin?
Quint? Who is Quint?
Quentin. He died right where you're standing,
I
Lord
start
Reginald.
breathing. I
No,
start breathing.
God, Margaret.
Wait, was Quentin Vivian's?
Quentin is not. Quentin, she'll explain. No, Quentin was a painter, he was. And he came up here. He
I'm
did.
gonna squeeze. Nipples
No,
arm.
it's okay. Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
He was a painter, he was. And he was painting up in this room. And they said the devil himself done put a curse on him, he did.
No.
Yep.
No. All right. Thank you, Margaret.
Son
You've
of
been
a
very
bitch,
helpful.
Philip. Goddamn bastard.
Margaret,
He's
sir.
evil.
I didn't. Margaret, the real
It's
spin-off is
Margaret, it wasn't
Margaret
Phil,
Circle
it
and
was
Wednesday Line. I'm into them. They're a right show. Oh, Wednesday, what is it you're doing with that Uai board? Don't worry about me, Margaret. I'm just talking to some of my old friends.
You know, I've watched that procedural.
Well, we solved another murder, we has, Wednesday Line.
Get me out of here.
Let's retire to the houseboat that we share.
Yeah. Okay, yes. We shall retire downstairs for now, I guess.
All right.
All right.
I squeeze your arm the whole way down there.
Yep, that's fine. Yeah.
Real reversal of
Goddamn
Alright.
statue.
At this point, we will say, that you all sort of gather. Luncheon is sort of laid out for you all. A very simple sort of meal. But it is in the dining room, and ample beverages of high alcoholic content. This is probably a late lunch. It's probably like a 2 o'clock lunch at this point. The rest, the family are all present. No one is eating particularly ravenously, but you are all in there. Gladys, Odette, and Alicia, Vivian, and the Marchioness, and all 5 of you. As you dine, it is 9:44. So if you want to maybe throw out some more stuff, we probably won't go too much longer. But if you guys do want to throw out a few more things, we can, or we can kind of wrap up as kind of just like a giant piece of like roast beef is put onto a plate, and you all just contemplate your mortality. I'll sort of leave that to you.
Sounds
You guys
about
want to
right.
push on? You want to push on a bit to summarize, or shall we end it there?
Find any idiot here.
Whatever.
I'm fine with it.
And
Cutting
there.
here on the roast beef.
Yeah.
On
Then
the
in that
Memento Mori
case-
beef.
Oh, I couldn't eat a bite.
Yeah, she's. Oh, I could. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah.
Lost my appetite.
Oh, Yorkshire pudding. Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Mm. Oh, and fill up my glass.
I do have one question before we.
Please.
Has anyone changed their clothes?
Over the course of today.
Since I guess since the past hour, is anyone wearing different clothes than they were an hour ago?
I don't think. No, I don't think anyone's wearing different clothes than they were an hour ago. Dr. Gordon has changed numerous times due to like
being out
like,
in the weather.
being out in the
People.
wet with stuff. So he's really on his backup garment already. But the rest
I'm
of
on
you,
my
are-
last
Oh,
day
no,
garments.
servant's already washed and dried his original clothes.
They're not my servants.
no, they
Yeah, the
would
hot
have, but
servants will take care of it.
they would have. But he's in there. No, I don't think anyone else is in. I don't think anyone else has changed clothes. Well, on that note, that very interesting question. Ooh, what could that be about? I want to thank everyone for watching. Say that's chapter 7. We'll be back next week with more. You guys didn't finish on account of ghost hijinks that were great. Oh man,
Us
that was
not finishing
real
something
good.
because of hijinks? No.
It was funny on account of
Not
that
us.
Lord Reginald has been scared of that the whole.
I had no
We're
idea that
always
he was scared
laser
of us.
focused on the
Possibly
objective.
Can't
the most
believe-
shocking reveal of all.
That's the only.
You
I
had
was
to
thinking.
But
you
had
had to say ghosts. You could have said
But
so
had
many
he
other
made it
things.
under the bed, he would have seen like a weird, like silhouetted figure,
I know.
and that would have been so good.
I had a plan for if that's what happened, but I'm glad it didn't go that way because all my
Indeed.
plans are real shaky.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Go to our About page here on Twitch to see all the cool stuff our players get up to. Go to our Discord to follow the things that we do on our Discord. Nope, I said Discord. I meant social. There we go.
Social, yeah.
We got more shows. I also thanks Sophia for watching tonight. Also, hello Distal's Place. I'm not sure if you're still here, but thanks for being out there. We appreciate everybody who's here for these shows. I will do the sort of general stuff of just what we got coming up in the next week. Friday, back to Voluptua. It's a game that uses 4-play dice. It's preposterous. Check it out Friday night. We had like 2 or 3 like sexy montages last Friday and 1 full-on Cinemax sex scene. Like seriously, this game is preposterous. Voluptua. Oh yeah, if you don't know this, Mario, on our horror game on Fridays, they're inside a haunted like Cinemax movie. So it's like it's preposterous. And I created a system. I had to make them custom and like write them on like labels on like dice. But I'm not sure if you can see any of these things.
No, we can't.
They're playing with like 4-play dice. So like that says like suck fi, you know?
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah, it's preposterous. So please check that out. But that's oh yeah, and yes, Sophia, that is very true. They're also in like they're really doing the costumes for their Island Paradise shenanigans. So that's a fun one. Check that out on Friday. On Saturday, Long Lost Loves with Lauren. Long Lost Loves with Liv and Lauren will be talking about Power Rangers as their nostalgic thing. So check that out on Saturday at 2 p.m.
Don't get us DMCA.
That song has no business going so hard. But
It's pretty. It hits hard. On Sunday we've got more of a more Wretched Hive, which is our sort of like musical Star Wars game. On Monday we've got Civilized Age. Oh yeah, sorry. Say something about more Wretched Hive.
I'm saying enjoy watching my character collapse into madness as he alienates everybody close to him.
My favorite moment, and this is very conceited of me to say since I was a part of it, I think my favorite moment was Jeremy's drunken character who refuses to call my character by his real name, or any character by their real name. Jeremy's character is weeping on the sidewalk about how bad his life has gotten, and is asking me for help to get home. In his intoxication, he says, "You're my friend, right?" And I said, I'm so not your friend. I'm absolutely not your friend. That's the tone of that game. Come check it out. And then on Mondays, if you like Star Wars but not like that, come check out Civilized Age, where it's people trying to find their missing children in the distant future of the Star Wars universe. Very higher stakes, and some real big stuff was happening towards the end of that, where perhaps some of the characters might be other characters who are more familiar to the general public within the Star Wars universe, which is pretty fun. Then a week from tonight, come back for more Murder by Murder, where we see how many more ghosts we can terrify Lord Reginald with. I'll also announce that, I'm not sure if it will be, it might be tomorrow or Thursday, it might be next week. I am going to be doing a very chill character building Star Trek session, because the first Friday of every month we are doing another Star Trek one-shot. So before that happens, some of our characters are probably going to like enhance where their characters were at, because we just used Quick Start for our first session earlier this month. So before September 2nd, we will be having some kind of like thing of that before our next session of that. So yeah, that's way too many things to announce, but I like to keep busy to keep away the sadness and emptiness I feel when I'm not playing tabletop role-playing games. And on that upbeat note, I'll say thanks again for watching, and until next time, remember, the game is afoot.